Mr. Nigel, you're gonna have to share from my page because there was an error starting your screen. You heard me? All right, everybody. Welcome to the Black Multiverse Theory podcast. We are your hosts, Nigel and Nilo, and today we'll be exploring current events through an Afro-Canadian lens. In shoutouts, we catch up with the community, creating a space for connection. The scroll dives into social media, current events, and celebrity news, always actual but not always factual. On the screen shares our latest watch list, while in our ears explores the sounds shaping our world. The podcast culminates with an uplifting message called The Word, where we hope to leave you empowered. Thank you for tuning in for insightful analysis and a vibrant perspective on the Black experience in today's world. Yay! All right. So the first part of this wonderful show that we have here is called shoutouts. So do you have any shoutouts?
Yeah, I got a lot of shoutouts. Shoutouts to Lisa Edwards. Shout out to Lisa from CariWest. Man, did she do a good job this year. And I just wanted to send a personal shout out to her. Also, shout outs to my children, of course, and shout outs to Mama Zita, who is always here, just not right now
because we're so late, probably.
Because we're late.
Yeah.
We're pretty late, and you're the only one live. So
oop.
I have to share it.
Okay.
With her personally.
While you're doing that, I will give my own personal shout out.
What's your shout out?
Big shout out to Standing Bear and Bill. We've got a ghost dance coming up. So the men, I'm in total gratitude, went up to Athabasca, got some supplies that they needed, got some wood. I have to find some time to go over to the land and see how I can support. But yeah, big shout out to you guys. Big shout out to Bill, always a huge supporter, definitely watches the show. Also, I said the men, but I don't know if Karma went too, because she's tough. So big shout out to also Karma, who, with no offense at all, listens to the show sometimes to go to sleep, but she says that my voice is very soothing, so
wow.
I'm not offended. I'm just glad. Yeah, we will shout out to everybody at CariWest, but CariWest is like number one on our scroll, so we'll
shout out any birthdays that
I put that in the scroll. Do you want me to do
birthdays?
it right now? Okay, I'll do it now.
Your family though.
Yeah, I
Is
would.
that on the scroll?
I mean, all the birthdays I put there together.
Okay.
But I could do all the birthdays right now.
Okay.
So let's start with most recent to least recent. Yesterday was D, hashtag get you a D, Derodene's birthday. D does a lot for not only Aphrodisiac, but me and all the different facets. I'm super, super appreciative of her. And yeah, I want to wish her a super happy birthday. I talked about it being her birthday a lot yesterday, but I didn't actually do the thing where I actually reached out and did the thing. So yeah, I hope she had an as amazing birthday as she is herself, as she is of a person.
Yeah.
And yeah, big super happy birthday to you. I want to give a big super happy birthday to my niece Brittany, who had the unfortunate displeasure of learning about the specific kind of anti-Black, anti-American racism in Montreal just in time for her birthday. So if anybody's ever been to Montreal and has any like horror stories, I guess, about the people, definitely I kind of want to hear it, not gonna lie. But yeah, Brittany, I'm sorry, girly girl, but I think all the girls had a good time together, like with each other. You know how sometimes it could be a terrible situation, but you're with terrible people. So you know what I mean? At
Yeah.
least they had each other type of a deal. So that is my this week's happy birthdays. Is there any birthdays I missed so far that you can think of? That's this month.
Havana.
Vanna's birthday is coming up this weekend on
Mhm.
August 17th. So a big happiest of birthday shout out to Havana.
Shout out to my homeboy Jason, whose birthday is today, and also Rochelle Charles, my cousin. Her birthday is today as well.
Oh, Rochelle. Big happy birthday to Rochelle. I want to say happy birthday to you. I want to sing happy birthday to you. I feel like for $1 we could do birthday shout outs for you.
Yeah, we could do that for $1. Dollar shout outs.
Yeah, we'll run through everybody's birthday messages and then we'll sing our song.
Yeah.
So hit us up for that. We're panhandling for Black Multiverse money now.
I called Shella this morning and I was like, you know what? She goes, hi. She goes, hey. Very excited because it's her birthday. I was like, hey, Shella, can I borrow some money? I was wondering if I could borrow some money from you. And she's like, oh, okay. And I was like, because it's your birthday.
Yeah.
It's your birthday. And she was like, I started laughing. I was like, imagine that. Somebody tries to borrow money on your birthday. They don't even remember it's your birthday.
Oh my gosh.
Right,
speaking
sister?
of birthdays, and also speaking of borrowing money, my big sister got tickets to Buju Banton for my birthday. So I'm going to see Buju. Yeah, we'll have floor seats.
Remember, girl.
Floor seats at the Barclays.
Buju.
That sounded like Shaggy. The noise you just made. Yeah.
Father, I will pray. Only him know how we get
True every day.
The price, right?
Mm-hmm.
Buju. He's so mad right now.
For the
we should have talked about that.
For the next 2 albums, or for the next 2 months or whatever, I'm gonna be listening to his newer albums because I know like Summer Bless. I know that one, and I know 1 or 2.
You know, Cellular Phone. You know that one?
Yeah, but I don't think that's how it goes. But yes, I do know it.
That's the one.
I know the one you're referring to. Okay, now we're going to move on to the next portion of the show, which we call the Scroll. You guys, I don't even know how long that was. Okay, let's talk, which we didn't last week, about Heritage Days getting mash up.
I worked Heritage Days. I worked with the Jana Association, which was great. And working with the Jana Association, I literally put together their sinks and helped them with their gas and stuff like that. But unfortunately, a freak storm passed through.
Active
Thunder,
God.
lightning storm passed through. And it was...
It mashed up the place.
It mashed up some of the spots. There was water damage, and so they had to shut it down for the safety of the public. Unfortunately, a lot of people lost their money. A lot of nonprofits use that money
for the rest of the year.
Yeah, they do.
Well, I am so sorry to Heritage Days and all of the people who committed that time and that money. I hope that there's some kind of like insurance in place. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know? But yeah, so sorry for that. It is definitely literally a tragedy. So my heart goes out to you. I can't even imagine.
I think some people though understand that, when it's an act of God, it is an act of
But
God.
understanding it and being so mad is like it can happen at the same time. Like I fully understand what happened, but my God, we needed that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I definitely get it. A lot of bake sales coming up this season is all I gotta say. You better get to baking.
Yep.
Pierogies and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, after Heritage Days,
Right.
we roll right into my favorite holiday, and that holiday is called CariWest
Oh,
Weekends.
yes. People were wishing me,
Happy Parade Day.
they were not, but they were
Oh,
wishing me season's greetings. So that was what people kept saying, season's greetings to me, which was great. I had the privilege this year, as usual, of doing the plumbing um, and gas for the entire festival, which put me on call there from the Wednesday all the way to today.
holy cow.
And it was great. I did what I needed to do. I did the research and made sure that it was good. So I think it went off pretty good.
Yeah,
Plus, the actual entertainment, the organization,
so good.
things came out like clockwork. So,
Yeah, so I have to say, so Preeti performed, also Patrice
pretty
Roberts performed.
Patrice again.
Yeah, big shout out to Thalia Edwards, also Lisa and Anna, uh, Sam. I don't know why I was thinking about her last name. Was stuck about to come up like Alex.
El
No,
Presidente Sam.
it's Sam,
Yeah.
Samisha. And is that
Sherelle.
what's her name? Jillian, the secretary. Jillian
G.
and also Sherelle.
Sherelle.
So
Roxanne.
Miss Roxanne as well.
Mm-hmm. And
Greg
Greg.
Davis.
Yeah, Greg was in there.
Who
Yeah.
else?
And there's a couple more people that I'm not sure if I know their name.
Okay. Well, as far as people names
Shout
that
out
we've known,
to all the executives.
shout out to everybody, all of the executive, everybody who did part of the planning. Big shout out to Edmonton Reggae Festival. I have to let you know, when you were not in the room, the people were saying very, very good things about you and the services that you guys were providing. So a big shout out to Edmonton Reggae um, Festival Society, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so super big shout out to them as well, because they definitely helped with the ambiance of the festival. A big shout out to you. Many vendors were like, this was the year. They were so happy. The kitchen vendors were very, very happy.
They were.
Big blessings to Barry, just hopped on here. Barry, we'd be out here fighting for our lives, thinking that we're just talking to ourselves, but every now and then somebody's like, oh, so I watch your show.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, so they go ahead.
Shout outs to
Also Danielle from Trincan.
Yeah, Daniel from Trincan, the entire steel orchestra, steel pad orchestra, both sides, who, I don't know if you know this, they're never competing. They're always just playing together.
Right.
So they separately go practice the piece and then together come together, because Edmontonians do not like to
They
compete.
don't like competing, no.
Unless it's the Olympics, they're not in it. And even the Olympics.
Even barely that, yeah.
So, shout out to them. Shout out to Sterling Scott's.
Yes, hostess with the mostest.
Yes.
Definitely a huge shout out to him. He always does a fantastic job. That's the most Trini I ever hear him sound all year long. I'm just kidding, Sterling.
So, shout out to the
All
security, Angelique, the security guard.
okay. All the performers,
Yep.
Patrice, I gotta say, I'm the first one to tell people when I'm right and when I'm wrong. And I wasn't wrong the other times, but this time, Miss Patrice definitely was the best I've ever seen her ever. And I have to say, the A Team band also 10 out of 10. Like, phenomenal what it is to be such a just well versed band. And then also, I have to say, Preety, Edmonton loves you. Come back all the time. You
Yeah.
can be our CariWest regular every year. Just
Yeah.
come into town and sing, just like
Very
Jax.
good.
Also, Jax. What's up?
Jax is actually our regular.
Jax is our regular for real.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, I performed on stage with you one time. I mean, not at the same time, but like we both performed on stage on the same year, and like maybe one after the next. He's like, who are you? um, Big shout out to Big Uzi and the whole band. I missed you, Steve. So next time, hopefully, I will get to see you before you go. Big shout out to Izwi, Calgary Jab Jab, who let me jump with them.
Nice.
Big shout out to Trini Man, Joseph Roberts over there, and Jolisa, and everybody who always comes out and supports. Like, even if I do 000 for Jab, there's always like a primer of like 10 people who are ready to go at any time. So I appreciate you guys for coming back year to year to year to year to year. Like, so cool. And big shout out to Kirk Diamond. What's his band called? Like Ayafaya or something? Earthfire or something? What are they called?
Not Earthfire.
Oh.
But
anyway, big shout out to Juno Award winning artist Kirk Diamond, who has not only a Juno Award, but also a fantastic band with choreography. And actually, a hilarious story is that I think the guitarist, I believe it was either bass or guitar, I don't know what he was playing, but he essentially split his plants open on stage, which you guys probably saw. But they gave a hilarious recount of seeing that his pants were split, but not being able to communicate it properly to him. And he gives a hilarious account of feeling his pants split and trying to figure out what he's going to do about it while he's still on stage, and pretty much is split like in the first few songs. So he had like the whole set list left to do. In any case, very funny. All those guys. And I can't run down a list of the performers because there were so many performers. Thank you guys so much. Thank you everybody who does the work. I can be very critical, especially about the things that I love.
Right.
And CariWest is one of those things that I love. But everybody who has been involved, who was involved, all the bands, all the band leaders, all the masqueraders, all the DJs, DJ Gel, I love you so much. I love you. And also, Dr. J was there, who is also one of my favorite DJs as well. So I didn't get to see GBM Neutron, but I heard it was pretty good. And also, Problem was a problem, but he always is. In any case, CariWest, forward. Like, so great. You owe Edmonton nothing.
The movement of Ariel is Kirk Diamond's band.
Of course it is. That's why I said Ayafaya.
I was like, okay.
Shout out to the movement
Ariel.
Ariel. Ariel.
Okay.
Band. So yeah, shout out to them. Shout out to everybody. Yeah, that's all we got. We always, okay, I have to say this part. As Carnival fans, right? I will say, as bacchanalists, as people who love a carnival, participate in carnival, lift it up.
Right.
As people
Waste
who
masters.
We do that with our heart, with our deepest heart. We got to make that shirt for next year. So for us, the people who do that with our deepest heart, we always see our faves performing in these places. And the crowd's huge and they're jumping up and flags are waving and the energy is just
Massive.
out of the screen. And so they're like, thank you, Barbuda. Thank you, Curacao. Thank you, Martinique. Like all these small islands, big islands, it don't matter. Like, so to actually have everybody come out to Edmonton and also have Edmonton like get its props, like 18 was like people were surprised at our energy. People were surprised at us knowing all the songs. They were surprised, like, they were shocked at like we surprised them. So it is so much fun to see your city get the carnival appreciation because pretty bigged up all our girl there Patrice bigged up, the band bigged up, 18 band bigged up. Yeah, it was super dope. So even Dr. J was like, they knew every word. I'm like, yes, brother, we know the song. So big shout out to y'all and everybody. I'm sure I didn't say somebody, but
I'm trying to think about it, but
big shout out to Evan. Big shout out to Cheryl. Big shout out to Duncan.
The Calypso band.
The Calypso band.
That performs on Sundays.
Yeah, I don't remember their name, but I really enjoy them. They're really good.
Yeah.
They also play folk fest, from what I understand.
Stenny.
Yes. Big shout out to Stenny.
Big shout out to them.
And also big shout out to all of the food vendors, including Rajiv. Big shout out to them, especially because they always, and a big shout out to Tall Man over at Paradise Grill. They always come with it. All right, moving on along. We've got upcoming Jerk and Jollof.
Yes, Jerk and Jollof Festival.
What's that going on? What's that about?
Well, last year it was called the Jollof Festival, and if everybody knows, there was a debate on who makes the best jollof rice.
Which country,
especially out of the continent of Africa,
right?
Which country is making it? And it got whittled down to two countries battling it out, and that is the country of Ghana and Nigeria.
That's wild.
Why? Do you think there's another contender?
Yes.
Which one?
The originator of Jollof.
Which one is that?
The country of Senegal.
Senegal.
Wow. How y'all really left Senegal out of a Jollof festival?
Nobody.
Nigeria, I know you love your Jollof. I feel like it has too much tomato. Ghana, I know you love your Jollof sometimes. No, I like Annie and Jollof. I'm not even gonna lie, but sometimes it's a little bit light skinned. But Senegalese Jollof?
Is that the best?
Well, yes, it's their thing.
Well, on Saturday, I will have the privilege of not only plumbing at that festival, but also performing at that festival and also judging some of the food vendors. So.
The vendors? I thought there was a contest.
There's a
contest is amongst the vendors?
I think they're just going to bring me food for a taste test. Like, they're blindfolding us.
I thought they had specific people making pots.
I don't know.
Make a plate. Oh, we don't know how it's going.
We don't know.
So it could go anyway.
It's a surprise.
Okay. I love it.
I told them that I'm allergic to nuts.
How do you feel? Fair. How do you feel about Jollof?
About Jollof? Mm-hmm. I think it's amazing.
You love it?
Yeah, I love rice.
Shout out to Neka. Neka makes a wicked Jollof. She brought it to a barbecue one time, and I don't know how to beg her to make it for me. Yeah, it was quite good. And she's Nigerian, so I have to give that to her as well.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. I tell you, when it's time to criticize, I'm there. But when it's time to tell you, I be telling you.
You be telling the people.
It's both sides of the coin over here.
Oh, Shayla's watching. Shayla Leslie was on.
I love you, Shayla, and the kids, and the girls, and Sincere.
Okay. Yeah. So,
All right. Are we moving it on along? Jerk and Jollof. Nigel's performing. Tim is performing. I don't know who else is performing.
OG Jonah.
OG Jonah. Wow. Is he headlining?
No, Tim is. He's opening for Tim.
OG Jonah's opening for Tim. Okay, wow. At the Jollof Festival. Okay. That's going to be quite the show. OG Jonah has a really pretty significant following here in Edmonton.
He does.
Yeah.
So OG Jonah will be there on stage. Tim will wrap it up.
Okay, moving along, as the man Jay-Z says, grand opening, grand closing. So the Olympics, and once again, folks, that is another year for the 2024 Olympics. The Olympics have Olympicked, and now they're wrapped it up.
They are, and a lot of highlights from the Olympics, like Tebogo, I think his name is. He came in first place in the 200 meter, beating out Noel Lyle, who is a fan favorite and fan hated at the same time.
I don't understand the hate, but you did explain it to me, but I still don't. Maybe I don't agree with it.
It's just a rivalry and stuff like that, right? So there are rivalries that to this day. So they interviewed Donovan Bailey, and then they interviewed, I think it was
Carl something or other.
I don't know if it was
not Carl
Lewis.
Thomas. Oh, okay.
I think it was Carl Lewis.
I'm like summer
and he
rain.
said something when he beat that guy. He said something, and to this day, that man has not forgiven that guy. He's like, "Will you guys ever get together?" A reporter was like, "Will you guys ever get together?" He goes, "Many years ago, he said what he said, and he knows what he said, and that was it." And he walked off.
And and we can never hear it.
And Donovan Bailey was sitting there laughing, watching the interview.
He knows what he said.
He knows what he said.
He knows good and well what he said.
I think we can find what he said because he said it in the camera.
Okay.
But
I have to give I know this is not the shout out portion, but I have to give a big shout out to Sika, who had me interviewing on her kids program that she's putting together. I'm so excited to see it. It's gonna be out like probably next year sometime. I told her by the time this comes out, we'll forget that we even did it. But yeah, it was good to see her, and I'm looking forward to that project. It's very cool.
Also, for the Olympics.
Oh yes, back to the Olympics.
Shout out to Ray Gunn, who came out, showed us how to pop it and lock it.
There's a big investigation into the lady now because they said no, it's true. Because
why?
So the thing is this: do I have a minute to break down?
Yeah, you have a minute to break down.
Do I have a minute to break it down? Okay, so apparently, breakdancing. Oh, okay. Apparently, the people who brought breakdancing to the Olympics have been trying to get ballroom into the Olympics for a long time. But ballroom's dated and the Olympics aren't really about it. So they decided as a dance group, they're going to work on getting this breakdancing to the Olympics. So they made the bid in 2018, I think, and it got approved in 2019. So at this point, they don't know anything about breakdancing. They don't have any breakdancers. They're a ballroom community. So what they do is they create dance sport. Like dance sport is like one word. And they say breakdancing is a dance sport. So a lot of the original breakdancers and these other people who breakdance around the world were like, okay, that's weird. So they went ahead and made this conglomerate, and then they had regions, and then they started holding regional competitions. But the thing about the regional competitions is in order to participate, you had to be a member of this dance sport organization. Okay. And then now you have to be a member of the dance sport organization. You have to pay the money to be a member.
Right.
So a lot of people were excluded. There's a lot of underserved, essentially. There's probably A lot of people in what they call the oceanic region, there's not a lot of breakdancers in the dance sport organization in the oceanic region, which is that New Zealand, like that whole back of the Earth's head area where it's like all water essentially,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
So anyway, the lady apparently teaches whatever she teaches wherever she teaches it, and she did whatever she did, which if someone was a better breakdancer, perhaps they could have executed it in a way where it was like flowed better. You know what I mean? Perhaps. I don't know. But the whole thing is under investigation now because there were some people who said that she like opened it for like not enough time, closed it early, and then opened it just with enough time for her to put in her own application. Her husband was a judge.
So
Like
Ray, you're talking about Ray Gunn?
Reagan, yeah.
Is she part of the? She's one of the main people in the organization.
Yeah, her husband is one of the judges and the person selecting.
Here's
It's a whole thing. Like the
here's
breakdancing community is upset because there's a lot of breakdancers who feel like breakdancing is not a sports artistic expression. It shouldn't be in the
hold on,
Olympics.
hold on. Sorry. Why this is funny to me is because Ray Gunn scored a whopping 0 points,
Yeah.
and her husband was the judge, and he didn't even give her one.
Her
I
husband
love
was
you point.
not an Olympic judge.
Oh, she
Her
wasn't another one.
husband was a judge for the qualifying rounds,
Oh, okay.
which is why she was able to qualify.
Oh, well.
Anyway,
Ray Gunn. Wow.
so
Y'all look nice. Sorry if we're still a bit gone. Okay, okay.
this guy over here had like a thing for jerk and jollof, and then I had
Yes.
the Sika thing, so that's why we look nice for two separate reasons.
Hmm.
Anyway, so that's what's happening over there with Miss Reagan.
My thing about Miss Ray Gunn is it's just watching her dance, break dance, and realizing that so many people could have qualified because her skill was wildly
I feel
exaggerated.
like the thing that's frustrating for me, to be honest, is the same watching the same thing because it is exhausting watching white folks fail upwards. And as a person who competed in the Olympics and got 0 points, more people know her name, know who she is, looking her up, following her on socials, than the people who actually won and actually did the things to win, you know? So I feel like this person, like people felt away when Will Smith smacked Chris Rock or whatever, because they were like, they took away Questlove's shine, because that night was the night that he won Best Director, his Best Director award.
Yeah, and it was a good film.
Yeah, so they said they took away the shine, but I feel like in this case, this Ray Gunn lady has taken away so much, and just the first year has like, yeah, it's just I just feel like she's taken away so much. But we did talk more about Nancy Kerrigan than we or Tanya Harding than we did about Nancy Kerrigan anyway. So
it is a thing, and here's the thing. I want to send a special shout out. I know the shout out portion's over, but to Phil Wizard,
bro, we be shouting it out the whole time, guy.
the Canadian who won for breakdancing single competition, which was fantastic. And I was like, okay, this is how you win a competition. And he did his move, his opponent's doing his move, and then as the opponent's doing his like finisher, Phil looks over and notices what the finisher is doing and simultaneously copies it, and they both land upside down with their legs split open.
It happens
like this
in an instant
at the same time. And I was like, yo, that is the most amazing finish in a breakdancing set. And so he deserved his medals. And here's the thing, Canada got 27 medals this year in total. 9 of those were gold, 7 were silver, and 11 were bronze.
How many did they usually get?
Normally, I'm not too sure.
Okay.
Canada Olympics
Average medal count?
average medals. Olympic average medal is Canada. Well, we didn't see what the average is, but do we see the
Okay.
most? The most medals, I think, in total at the Olympics, Canada has won 157 gold medals,
Oh, in total,
189
total.
silver, and 232. So a total of 578 gold medals we've won.
Okay, wow. All right. Before we move on to the screen and in your ears, I want to talk really quick about Matthios.
Okay.
Matthios. And Matthios, he was assassinated by the police with his hands up. And there will be a meeting spot, which is the EPS place downtown, 90 downtown division, 9620 103A Avenue. Please wear white, and they're protesting to end police violence. There is a website, so if you look it up, you will be able to look up everything that the family wants, all the details of exactly what happened, especially if a CERT's little thing that they put together isn't enough for you. So it's March for Matthios. Definitely, if you can. I didn't say the date. August 17th, and it will be at 1 p.m. at EPS, the downtown division at the Edmonton Police Service. That's 9620 103A Avenue Northwest. So please support that family any way you can. And once again, wear all white.
Wear all white.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty, dude. We are gonna move on to the portion of the show we call the screen.
The screen.
Okay. Okay. What are you watching right now?
On the screen, I have been watching Batman: The Caped Crusader. It's a brand new animated Batman, where it kind of shows at a different light of what Batman is like. And so, like Penguin, for instance, is a woman. And so you can see why all these guys are following Penguin, because Penguin treats all of her henchmen like they're her children. And so they're like Mama. They call the Penguin Mama.
Oh, I like that. I like that take.
Yeah, and they come in and they go through. They show Two-Face and why Two-Face.
Is this a cartoon?
Yeah, it's animated.
Okay.
So Two-Face, what happens to him? He makes a deal with one of the crime bosses, and then he goes back. He's like, I'm not doing it. I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna do my thing.
The crime boss was like, no, you don't.
And the crime boss was like, send somebody to throw acid in his face. So they threw acid on half of his face.
Oh, wow.
The pain was so searing that he literally lost it. And then went on a killing spree and killed all of the henchmen and all of the people, including the guy who threw the acid in his face.
But he also used to be a politician, right?
Yeah, so
Harvey Dent.
He's the district attorney.
The old district attorney. That's what it was.
He's the district attorney going for mayor.
Mm-hmm.
So he wanted to become mayor. So he used the crime boss Falcone to help him get to the mayor position.
Got you. And then
as he's about to go into it, Falcone's like, well, you got to get this guy out of jail for me, and then I can help you become mayor. And he looked at the guy's record, and he's like, no, this guy's not a good guy.
The guy's like,
he's
okay.
like, no, I'm not doing it. You can have the money. Take the money back. They came splash him in the face with some acid.
I believe I remember this from Batman Begins or whatever Batman with Michael Keaton.
Yeah, but then you actually see him like snap and then become two individual people. talking to himself, stuff like that, having remorse, then not having remorse. It's quite interesting. So it was great. I watched almost all of it, and it takes actually place in the 1950s. So even though it's a new anime, it actually takes place in the 50s. So there's no cell phones.
It's
There's
like the
no
original Batman is in the 50s, isn't it?
yeah, I think it's in the 50s or 60s.
Yeah.
So there's no cell phones. There's no way for him to communicate. He's just really just using this tech. And he's got this high end tech, and everybody's loving it. So it's cool. So that's what I'm watching. That's
Gotcha.
what's in my screen. What about you? What do
So
you?
I'm definitely watching Tisa Tells with all the gossip. I do enjoy that. I'm also on YouTube watching, not really watching, but like listening. I guess this might be in our ears. But I'm also listening to no, I have a song for in our ears. So I'm also watching on YouTube but listening to this book called Bling by Erica Kennedy. It came out so long ago that it's literally a book on literal tape that somebody put in a cassette tape recorder and then recorded with their cell phone. So randomly you hear people call coughing, randomly you hear people be like, "Oh, you still listen to that thing?" Like randomly you hear her family coming in and out of the room. So yeah, Bling by Erica Kennedy. Erica Kennedy was like, I guess, around at that whole Diddy time. And if you look her up, she has been deleted, and she is not around to this day. But she managed to tell whatever story she told in the book that I am working on.
Nice.
Yep. What are you watching? No, what are you listening to?
Listening to now, this is a different story. I started listening to a lot of Afrobeat. So I'm back on Burna Boy again,
Okay.
and I'm also listening to a little bit of Chris Brown, which I stopped really listening to Chris Brown after he walloped Rihanna a long time ago. But this last song, I was like, okay, okay, not bad, not bad. So, and then I found out that it's a remix of an original Afrobeat artist, which was
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. So I might do that song, maybe.
Well,
If you
we'll
come to
see.
Jerk and Jollof, you'll find out.
We'll find
I'll be on
out.
stage around 4:30. If anybody wants to come out, it's gonna be fun.
Okay. I have been listening to Two
Two
Chains,
Chains,
Two Tone,
Wayne, Lil Wayne.
Two Tone, and Little Wayne. Um, Definitely loving it up. Had a great, yeah, just in the gym.
And there she goes.
Sorry. You might see me with a double cup glued to my hand. Yeah.
All right.
So, what you talking about?
Well, I guess the word.
What are you listening to? You already said it?
Yep.
Oh, sorry, you guys.
Eee.
Okay, whose word is it? It's your word?
Yeah, sure. My word is hard work does pay off. This week and this weekend was CariWest, and I had the task of doing the plumbing and the gas. And coming into CariWest in 2019, I know plumbing, but plumbing a festival is different from anything that you learn at school. And so it was a little bit different to figure out what we needed, what we didn't need, stuff like that. Over the last 5 years and COVID, I figured out how things work, how we're supposed to work it, and how we're supposed to move forward. And I started to write down what would be the best case scenario. Putting in that extra work really paid off because I I was able to figure out who needed what when, how many times a day we needed trucks, how many times we needed different things.
Mm-hmm.
And so because of that, it really benefited CareWest and the food vendors. So they were very,
Many
very,
people were happy.
very, very excited about, where it went this year. And they were like, do that again, including some of the people who were really angry
Last
previous
year.
years because their plumbing wasn't working properly. So I say this because sometimes we get through situations that we don't realize what the end result is going to be, but we're putting in the work and we have a process that we're going to go in. We have a phase that we have to continue with. And because of that, we're like, yo, when is this going to pay off? When is it going to work? But all of a sudden it just clicks and you know it. So don't give up. Go through this thing. Go go and do the research and do the work, and it will pay off in the end. That's the word.
Determination is key, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really proud of you. You did a great job at CariWest.
Thank you.
I've been out there late at night plumbing with you, so I know what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, everybody, before we log off, I just want
wait. Sorry. Big shout out to Charmaine Bailey, Roche, and Olaf, who came out and plumbed with me on the first day. These three people really helped me at the beginning to really get some headway and get things going on. They are plumbers and they did a great job. So shout out to them.
Big shout out to them.
Okay.
I have to send my heart shout out to Janelle. Yeah, just thinking about you. And yeah, that's it for us. Thank you, everybody. We will see you again next week. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.